Good morning, good evening, good night. We're watching this transmission. Welcome to Cashless in Australia. So I've received a pile of actual tons of cashless videos and $10,000 cash can make you a criminal under proposed law. So I actually covered this 4 weeks ago. Negative rates and bail-ins down under. Actually kind of covered this on my channel. Oh yes, it's the first step of a financial takeover. I reported months ago of disappearing bank machines. Now it's limit spending $10,000. Now it's going to be limit spending $2,000. Mark my words. So it was an article about how they're going to make it. There's no point in withdrawing or having more than $10,000 in cash. They try to go on in the article to try to say that, oh, it's going to limit criminals and this and that and money laundering. Well, it's a bunch of crap. Anyway, so they want to limit cash. So then in this video, why banks want to destroy money, I spoke to a former bank, a bank somewhat of a very important figure in the banking industry. And he told me that, oh, Mike, no, they want to go cashless because the cost of carrying cash for the banks to count package coins, it's too expensive, Mike. And I'm like, yeah, but cash has been around, for ages. Before that, they had promissory notes, and then they had copper, silver, and gold. I think a Brinks truck going and actually going in and refilling a bank machine, it's kind of important, and it doesn't cost a lot to do. And now with disappearing bank machines in Northern Europe, yeah, the cost of filling these bank machines and them getting their fees from the withdrawals and stuff, I don't think it could be operating at a loss. Yeah, especially if you got some people counting coins and running it through machines and stuff. It can become costly. But that reason why banks want to destroy money is not a good enough reason. Not for me, man. So negative rates and bail-ins down under. So this was 4 weeks ago. So we're going back now. Let's go back and connect the dots. This was sent to me 22 minutes ago. Banning cash so you could pay the bank to hold your money is what the IMF wants. Of course, when they go into negative interest rates, right, you are going to be paying a percentage for the bank to hold your money, right? And that is not good. That is very bad because the saver, or let's put it in this term, the people that didn't get into this whole crap and over leveraging themselves, or because they're the ones, the people that didn't get into this whole crap, most of these people have a little bit of savings. The people that got into this holy crap of basically buying $2 million houses that are realistically worth $300,000, the people that got into this crap are the ones that won't pay for it. Why? Because they're going to have negative rates on their mortgage. But not only that, they have no savings in their account anyway. So negative rates will be beneficial for them because their house broke. So anyways, so let's connect some dots here. I got a petition here for you guys to sign. I'm going to leave a link in the comments below, in the description for you guys, okay? As federal government moves to ban cash transactions over above 10,000. Now, guys, stop messaging me saying, oh, Mike, you got a hard on from Australia. You get a lot of views from Australia. You're trying to, cash into the Australian housing market. There's already enough people doing it. Why are you jumping on the Australian bandwagon in the housing crisis? I don't think you know what's happening down here. Well, yeah, I do know what's happening down there very well. And if you could read and understand, well, I can't read, but if you could read graphs and understand the patterns, it's happening in every English-speaking country. It's the same patterns. Open for business, free trade. Come and buy us out. And it's happening everywhere. Mike, have you been to Melbourne or Sydney? No, I've been to Vancouver. That's good enough for me, man. I've been to Toronto. Hey, that's good enough for me. I've been to almost close to every major city in the U.S., and that's good enough for me. I kind of get the feel of what's going on, you know what I'm saying? As the federal government moves to ban cash transactions over above 10 large, there is a theory gaining transactions that the real motive for the cash ban isn't the so-called black economy, but rather to give authorities greater control over your behavior during recessions. So what happens behavior? Well, look at Cyprus and Germany when there were slight runoffs on the banks where people were going to bank machines and withdrawing all their cash because they didn't trust the banks. Well, They did it in Argentina, where every Argentinian in the last couple of weeks, since the peso took a good punch in the gut, a lot of people were trying to get all their money out of the bank so they could convert it to American dollars, right? Or gold or silver. This theory, put forward by economists such as John Adams and picked up some federal politicians, has not been plucked out of thin air. It's based on repeated public papers and sentiments by the international body in charge of financial stability, the Washington-based International Monetary Fund, IMF. A recent IMF blog edited "Cashing In: How to Make Negative Interest Rates Work" explains its motive in wanting negative interest rates, a situation where instead of receiving money on deposits, depositors must pay regularly to keep their money in the bank. So if you got $1 million and it's, let's say, 2%, you're paying $20,000 a year for them to hold your $1 million. That's not good. You know what I mean? That's really bad. So back in the day, the bank would offer you 5.5% on your $1 million. They'd be giving you $55,000 per year. But why? It's because our money has no value. Our money's worthless. As the blog notes, during the global financial crisis, central banks reduced interest rates. 10 years later, interest rates remain low in most countries, and while the global economy has been recovering, future downturns are inevitable. Severe recessions have historically required 3 to 6 percentage point cut in policy rates, the IMF blog observed. If another crisis happens, few countries will have that kind of room for monetary policy response. So we're looking at an aggregation. So you got this much of interest rate that's above zero. So if you want to kind of stimulate the economy or get things rolling, they want to lower interest rates even further so they get more people out spending and getting the free money, so you prop up your damn asset bubbles like they've been doing for years. But that didn't work because foreign investing came in, speculated, and bought everybody out. Then that became a disaster. So cash acts as interest rate floor. So we know that a pile of countries in Europe right now are in negative interest rate, negative interest. Their bonds or their monetary bonds and stuff are in negative interest rates. They're buying back their bonds at a loss. They're buying back their own debt is what they're doing, and they can't manage their own sovereign debt. And this is a huge problem when a country can't manage its own sovereign debt. What do? They want to start so more changes flagged under Black Economy banner. Remember, India did the same thing. They were tired of the money laundering and all this other stuff, so they made it like if you have X amount of bills that are up above 1,000 or 1,500, I'm not sure what the denominations on their money is, but they were removing them permanently to stop money laundering and trafficking and all this crap. But if people wanted to change their money into smaller bills, they had to open a bank account. And that's how they got everybody. Right? So I did that video too a whiles back on... it's just like I got to go through my videos and see what wasn't deleted and what was put... what's still up, what isn't up anymore. Because I got a lot of videos that are... Oh, this is all advertising. Okay, never mind. Let me go back to my videos. I got a lot of videos here, unfortunately, that I go back. Every time I go to my channel, and I go to a playlist, it says several videos have been deleted from this playlist. And I'm like, I didn't delete any videos from my playlists. Like trends in the housing market, market talk, housing crisis videos that I made. And I go, there's like 40, 50 videos every time removed. And I'm not sure why. I'm not sure if I reached the cap of how many videos I'm allowed to make, right? So I'm not too sure. So, but anyway, so let's get back to this IMF. Now, paying more than 10 large in cash could make you a criminal under proposed law. So we know what's happening with this. They want to obviously get rid of cash, and cash is a good way. The thing is, once you remove your cash from the bank, you're off grid, you're off the system. Yes, you own federally approved notes, legal tender. Yes, but once you remove your cash, you're off the system. They don't know how much you have. They don't know what you're spending. They don't know what you're spending on, and that is the problem. So they want to track everything. Okay, I think I was on this one. Regulatories are pushing us into cashless world. The RBA declares a turning point has been reached. Cash will become a niche payment sooner than we think, and checks will be phased out, says Reserve Bank of Australia Governor Phil Lowe, as the federal government considers imposing tougher penalties on cash economy activity. Oh my God. Wow. On Monday, Mr. Lowe told the Australia Payment Summit in Sydney that for some decades, people have been speculating that we might one day go cashless, and now it could become a reality. It looks like a turning point has been reached. No! It's your banks are defaulting. The taxpayers need to pay them out, and if the taxpayers don't have money in their banks, they're not going to be able to bail out the banks. Woo! So the people who never got into this are the ones that got to pay it back. You know I'm right. It's easier, it has been, to convince of the world in which banknotes are used for relatively few payments. That cash becomes a niche payment instrument, Mr. Lowe said. He comments as Treasury released a discussion paper asking whether Australian Taxation Office, the ATO, should get greater powers to catch out cash economy cheats. Now they're worried. Now another one they're going to start saying is you're not depositing all your cash from your business. You make X amount of cash. So if you get, let's say, the ratio would be, so if you do a $5,000 a week, 900 of it should be in cash. That's what the ratio roughly is, right? So if you have a $10,000 a week, you should have 1,800 in cash, right? That's what the ratio is when, at my store, right? So they're trying to find cash cheats and try to fight back the economy. Electronic payment rise as bank checks fall. So this is very in depth here. Of course, the RBA is going to support a digital entity, but this is all connecting the dots. Going back to a couple of videos I made, and going back even with the whole Greece and Cyprus crisis. I did a good video series on that, discussing what's happening in Cyprus, and I guess Cyprus was a small enough place to test this, but now, you know, when people are like, oh, you're talking about Australia, man, you don't know nothing about our country. I'm like, you don't need to know much about the country physically or the actual scenery of the country to understand its economic status, right? So, okay, let's do this here. There's the petition here. Here's the petition. Stop Scott Morrison from banking cash to trap Australians in banks. So Scott Morrison's currency restrictions on the use of cash, Bill 2019, is a fraudulent assault on the freedoms of Australia. So I already covered this in another video, banning cash transactions. And then they're lobbying. Look, task force report is already lobbying to reduced it to $2,000. Look at that. They're already lobbying, and look at this video I made. Where is it? And I said, mark my words. Watch this. Oh, yes. It's the first step of financial takeover. I reported months ago about disappearing bank machines. Now it's limiting spending to $10,000. Next, it's limiting spending to $2,000. Mark my words. Mark my words. It's right here. And that was 4 weeks ago. What? These are not my videos. I don't know why this is coming up on my slot machine videos. I'm not sure what this is. No, this is NG Slot. Why is it coming up on my channel? Anyways, there it is. Mike Martin's channel. Spending $2K, mark my words. Someone out there is watching this channel. So here's the petition. This is undersigned call to Parliament to respect the right of Australians to use cash for privacy as an alternative to the banks. Scrap this bill and and the cash ban policy, and crack down on the real black economy by going after multinational banks and corporations, the big four accounting firms, and the tax havens. Yeah. Why don't you get the Royal Commission to go after the banks even further and actually start examining these banks, okay, on what they really did, and really do a good audit on these banks. Start going through random mortgage files. Just pick a couple of random mortgage files through the system, bring up the files, see what pay stubs are on file, see what was modified or changed by the lender or the bank or the underwriter. Things like that are important to do, you know what I'm saying? And then this way people can get a grip on what's really happening. So I did I was working on a documentary here, guys, a whiles back about the whole housing thing, but I mean, there's already enough stuff out there. But there is a video here. I just got to see where it is. There it is. This is my very little proof of where I was at in the a lot of my videos are gone. Sydney, Vancouver housing crash, 47% by 2016. So I was already forecasting this in 2015. I still remember making this video. I was forecasting Vancouver, there's no way. At that time, it was 13, 14 times the annual income. Now it's like 20-odd times the annual income. 47% crash by 2016. But the problem I had was I didn't know what the government had as plan, what the feds had in plan with the banking systems and how to keep it going, right? So a lot of the banking was not on autopilot. Right here. Canada, United Kingdom, Australia, New Zealand, debt prison. This was November 11, 2015. And the same thing. I was talking about, this is so important because, and there's oversupply coming in 2016, supply versus demand, illusion, because that's all they were doing in 2015 and 2016 was they kept blaming supply versus demand, and we got to build. Now there's like hundreds of thousands, if not millions of empty homes everywhere, and all privately investment owners own it and board it up to resell to the locals at a higher price. Let's see if I have any more here. And then I think that's the last one. Nope. Sydney, Vancouver, Auckland, London, massive housing correction spring of 2017. So every year I was wrong. Every year I wasn't right. I was wrong because I didn't know what was happening when it came to government. Why is the government involving in banks and mortgages? First-time buyer's loan, all this crap to get fresh blood in the market. Anyways, guys, here's the link. I'm going to leave a link below to this video. It is at change.org, and these are Stop Scott Morrison from banning cash to trap Australians in banks. It's got 9,619 signatures. I will sign this right now, and I will, I'll get out there too, guys. So go ahead and get this out there. I'll leave a link below. Let's stop this because remember, Australia is the proving ground or the test subject of the English-speaking world. So once Australia does it, Canada's going to be like, "Woo, let's do this too. It's so good." And meanwhile, it's not good, and everyone's losing their wealth and savings. And it's the sad part is the people that didn't play this game and got over-leveraged are the ones that will pay for it. Thanks, guys, for watching. Let me know what you guys think. Big hug to you guys. And if you want to support this transmission, share this video. Thanks for watching.